all the awards and that. It's cool, the feud of the years, matches of the years, and talking guy of the year, even though people are like, oh, you know, Drew's really good, he looks great, he's good at wrestling, can't really talk, though. I was like, watch my f***ing indie stuff.
I'm a champion!
Drew McIntyre. There he is.
You're right.
A very warm welcome to Gorilla Position Beyond the Ring, our new interview series.
Oh, it's a new interview series.
Yeah. But proudly sponsored by WWE 2K25, where players can, for the first time, step outside the ropes and onto the island. Now, if you never stepped through the ropes in the first place, what arena would you rule in? What interests do you have outside of wrestling?
Very few. I need to get some hobbies.
Need to broaden your horizons.
Yeah, dude. My wife's always on me that apparently I can't wrestle forever as much as I might try. So I need to figure out what's that next step. She's always talking about business ventures and the likes. And I was like, well, if I did the one thing I always wanted to do my entire life, I don't want to do another job. So I figure I just need to find a bunch of hobbies.
Okay.
I don't know what those hobbies are yet.
Okay.
I got to figure it out.
You've dedicated a lot of time to this wrestling business.
Yeah, just basically my entire life.
Do you see yourself going for as long as possible, or is there a bit of an end goal? Like, have you figured like in 5 years that's when I want to retire, or you might move into a backstage role? Do those, especially when you think about your body and everything your body goes through?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly doesn't feel as good as it used to, but it looks better than it ever has been.
That is true.
I am sexier than ever. I just keep evolving. But on the inside, it doesn't feel great. So we'll see. I just, take each year as it comes. These days, the schedule isn't what it once was, which is great for the longevity of the superstars, obviously. A lot of us have been around for a while, put some miles on our body, but now we get that time to recover and get time to spend with those outside the ring. That balance is key.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I look at Sheamus and he's just turned, 87. And he's still going stronger than ever. So you never know.
Yeah. Would you say his body is looking as good as it's ever
He
looked?
looks better than he ever has his entire life.
Okay.
I will give him a compliment right there.
There you go.
He looks unbelievable right now.
That's very kind of you. Now, I'd like to start by looking back. 2024, a magnificent year for you. You were certainly not bored at work, lol. Feud of the year with good. Feud of the year with CM Punk. One of the all-time great feuds in all of pro wrestling, in my opinion.
Thank you.
An all-time WrestleMania moment, even though you dropped the belt. But also some brilliant character and creative work. Do you feel like you've ridden that wave into 2025? Do you still feel the momentum, or do you feel like it's dipped a little bit?
I mean, the thing about this industry is there's going to be peaks and valleys, and no matter what, it's going to be pretty much impossible to peak.
Yeah.
And during that time, we kind of caught lightning in a bottle, and people could feel that things were a little bit different with Punk and I. They were very much real. The feelings were real, and we are professionals, so we're able to keep it together as much as we can. And the result of a couple of people that are really good at their job, who genuinely don't like each other with that level of creativity, was what you saw in 2024. And to be specific, he was gone most of the time, and I did the majority of that. But when he came back, he held up his end, and now we gave people something special. And just as you said, all the awards and that is cool. The feud of the years, matches of the years, and talking guy of the year, even though people are like, oh, no, Drew's really good, he looks great, he's good at wrestling, can't really talk though. I was like, watch my indie stuff. But now they're getting to see a taste of what I'm truly capable of, and when I'm, kind of let loose. And we're still on the course with the character. With such a year, you got to take a little dip, and McIntyre's kind of finding out his next step. What's been happening this past year, we've been really focused on these couple of guys, but it turns out the entire time I've been focused so much on this particular goal, there's been this one other guy at the side who just keeps capitalizing every single time I've been screwed over. This one guy slid in, picked the bones, and had the best year of his entire career at my expense, and it finally all came to a head. Starting with Rumble, the last two opportunities to get the title match. As soon as my back was turned about eliminate Jey Uso, there's Damian Priest. Elimination Chamber, Claymore, John Cena, about to save a lot of heartbreak because I did tell everybody literally the night before he's a horrible human being and nobody would freaking listen as usual. As old Drew's over here telling the truth as usual. Priest has to steal the pin right before I pinned Cena, and then, oh, wait a minute. It became clear this guy has capitalized on me all year. He doesn't know how else to succeed unless it's at my expense. Even without a title, as soon as my back's turned, he's like, I don't know how to win for myself. I don't know how to be on top unless it's to do with Drew McIntyre. So he steals away my opportunity, so I've got no choice but now to put Priest in the dirt. Tough guy. Keeps getting up every week. Every time I put him down, I'll keep putting him down.
Well, so I want to talk to you about this program with Damian Priest because fans are quick to judge. There's a lot of negativity around it, but I think that's a positive thing because, as you say, like they want you to build on your successes of 2024, which was incredible. So are you saying you're not happy with you and Damian Priest?
I mean, this is WWE. If you know anything about watching the show, you know things are not always as they seem. And if you know anything about being backstage, things change every freaking second. So I'm not
Is that still the case?
I mean, not as much, but yeah. I mean, it depends on how things are feeling, how the crowd are reacting. If things aren't playing out how we want them to play out, or the fans aren't feeling something, they're going to change in a second. And I appreciate the response. People will be like, oh, well, Drew should have this or should have that. And these days, my mindset is what's the best story, as opposed to, I'd love to fight for the title every single year, but aside a couple of guys, that generally doesn't happen. So for myself, I'm like, all right, I showed what I could do. I'd like to think I'll get rewarded for that, but I don't assume anything. I'm just going to give my all in every situation as long as I've got a story to be telling, a story that I can invest in personally and make real to me. That's what matters to me, because I know if I can make it real to me, it'll be real to the fans, and I don't care who's in front of me. It could be you and I would make it count.
God forbid that ever happens, because
big guy. Have you seen our guys these days? Freaking tiny. Half the time I'm getting people saying, "Is that a wrestler? He's in WWE." I'm like, mate, I know.
Times have changed. But there was a lovely video package with you running down all the times Priest had screwed you. Like you mentioned them, WrestleMania, Clash of the Castle in Scotland, no less, Money in the Bank, Rumble. As fans, we'd sort of overlooked how intertwined you have been over the last year. Mm-hmm. So that it does feel like there is something pretty cool to build on.
Yeah, 100%. This is, to me, the most logical story. And Priest is, very good. He's still, he's had his opportunity at my expense, of course. But from what I saw, aside the crap with me, he knocked it out of the park. He's worked hard. He's paid his dues. He deserves an opportunity at the top, but it's not going to be at my expense. So now he's going to get his chance to really prove it, because he's got me on his case, because I've got nothing else to do now except keep beating his arse. I'd love for somebody to come out and go, you know what, Drew? Here's the reasons that you're not telling the truth. Here's the reasons you're a liar. Here's the reasons you're a terrible person. And they won't be able to. And I pointed out, just don't say I'm complaining. People say, like, to get the cheap pop is, oh, you do is complain and complain. Oh, get in here and I'll do what I've done before. Drop you on your arse. Nah, mate, that's just not it. People just don't like to hear the truth. But sometimes in this today, the day and age we live in, you just got to tell people the truth, the hard facts. And the only reason you drop me, you didn't drop me. Someone else dropped me from behind, and then you took advantage of the situation.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. I want to talk about Royal Rumble. Reports that you weren't happy with a certain superstar. Some said it was LA Knight. Others say maybe Logan Paul, Damian Priest. Are you able to shed any light as to what happened in Indianapolis that night?
I mean, I'll tell you that I was not happy.
Okay.
And I didn't swear in general, but I invented a few swear words, and then I left the building.
You invented a few swear words?
Yeah, I'm Scottish. It's hard for me to.
Can you give me some of those invented swear words now?
No, because I have to be that upset. If you want to piss me off enough, then I'll.
Who did you shout at backstage?
I'm not going to name names. I shouted it.
Come on, Drew.
But I left the building because I'm a professional. Like,
did you?
It's the same with the CM Punk thing. Like I mean, I blow up big time every couple of years, but every time I get upset, it somehow makes the internet because it's such a scene. But generally, I don't. But my thing is, I'm going to leave the building. It's not like Seth upset, like, oh, I'm so angry, lucky you're 20 feet away and I'm shaking my fist hard. Like, I would walk down and punch somebody in the face because that's who I am, but I'm also professional, so I'd rather take myself out of the situation because I know how bad my temper is, and sometimes when you calm down, things are not as they seem. So I've learned to just walk away. That's the adult thing to do. Calm down, look at things, and then if you still feel the same, knock somebody out.
Yeah, fair enough. Good advice. Good advice in life, I think. In 2K25, you get the opportunity to fight to join the Bloodline. Firstly, is there any part of you that would say if you can't beat them, join them? Would you ever join the Bloodline?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. So then if that weren't to happen, if you could join any faction in wrestling history, who would Drew McIntyre join?
I'm not sure. I'm not really a faction guy. I'm not even a tag team guy. I've never been a faction guy. I've always been a lone wolf because you can't trust anybody, it feels like. I don't know. Let's play Mark Drew. I guess DX or the NWO at their peak would have been cool.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah. I mean, one of the original ones. I mean, when I say like DX was cool because it kept the numbers small and everybody meant something. I mean, like NWO at the beginning, not like NWO with their 95 members. They're right at the
Most
start.
of the roster. Now, we love the storyline continuity in WWE these days. It feels like the dots are joined, like perhaps they weren't with the old regime. Can you talk about the creative process at all? Like, how involved are you? Does it feel like this sort of collaborative scenario backstage that we're led to believe it is?
Yeah, it is very collaborative. Everybody is on the same page. Things change. That's just the nature of the industry, but everybody is communicating that. It's okay, we're going this direction now. How are we going to make logical sense? And our opinion matters more than ever these days. You know, the great thing about the collaboration for someone like myself, you know, outside the company, sometimes I'm like, right, I got to do all this right now. Like, I've got these ideas, I want to throw them out on this one show. And the writers over there are saying, okay, this is the idea, but how about if we split some of that stuff up week to week so we're able to, you know, tell that story a little bit slower. We have 52 weeks, remember, so I get a bit excited and want to put too much out there. And that's the great thing about collaboration is kind of like you need people like myself who are going to run away into the distance, but also you need some people to grab from behind and go, hey, slow down. Let's think about it this way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they'll set up I can talk about football terms now instead of, they say pitch it. Usually in America, I'm describing it in American terms.
I'd rather talk about a real sport like wrestling, not football.
But you lay it up and then I'll finish it is basically how it goes these days. But yes, it is very, very collaborative.
Well, that's nice. And on the flip side, if you don't like a direction, do you feel if you don't let your temper get the better of you and you walk out, are you able to say, I don't really like this, can we tweak, can we work on something better?
Yeah, I mean, inevitably. The boss has got the final say. But there's never been a time where I'm like, oh no, I hate this so much, I'm not going to do it, go screw yourself. And that's not how it goes. It's okay. How are we going to make this work and tell the story in the best way possible? And I'm not walking out anywhere unless I genuinely feel like I've been personally slapped across the face.
Yeah. Fair enough. In 2K25, unified My Rise in the game allows you to take control of the superstars as they infiltrate NXT to take control of WWE. If you could control WWE for a week, if you were the final boss, is there one thing you would change? What would you love to do that WWE hasn't done?
I'd give that Drew McIntyre a raise in his own plane. Deserves it.
Have you been on the private jet?
Yep. Not a minute, but yeah. Very nice.
That's a dream for me. I'd love to go on WWE's private jet. Just one small journey.
Yeah. I mean,
You can make that
it's
happen.
like most planes, but nicer.
Yeah.
The sushi's very nice.
Sushi. Is it sushi on the plane?
What was last time?
Lovely.
It's very good.
Lovely.
Lots of alcoholic drinks as well.
Great stuff. Sounds wonderful. So going back to CM Punk, I want to talk about you two, the incredible chemistry, that incredible Hell in a Cell match, up there, top 3 Hell in a Cell matches, certainly in the same conversation as Shawn and Taker and Mankind. Why do you think that storyline clicked so well? What is at the root of the chemistry between you two?
I mean, I think at the root of it, there was just real personal feelings there, and people, you know, can connect with that, and they could, even if they can articulate it, there really something's different about this. Every time this guy's talking about this guy, or these two are on screen together, there's something different going on here at the core, and there's something real. And both of us, keeping it professional. We are very good at our job. And I know every time I was out there, I was trying to outdo myself and in turn outdo Punk. And then he's going to go out there and do the same. And I guess we're kind of just trying to top each other when you get people who are at the top of their game, like the two of us. No matter how we feel about each other, you're going to get compelling television.
It was incredibly compelling television. The promos felt like there were, like nothing was off limits. Did you discuss boundaries before you went out there? At one point, he tried to make you say Vince's name on air. Did you almost say it? Did you almost go there?
It crossed my mind. The conversation in my head about, do I do it? And do I say the same person that fired in your wedding day? Which did cross my mind. But again, somebody's got to be the professional out there. And Chicago is technically the good guy, even though he's clearly the bad guy, and I'm saying the truth nonstop. But you can see it anywhere he goes. Like, as Murphy stands with Seth or singing his song, they'll instantly turn to Punk, or Roman's out there. And when he takes his vacations, he comes back the biggest baby face of all time. But as soon as Punk walks out, boom, we love that guy. He has a Charles Manson-like quality. The way he's just able to convince people to do his bidding and love him. So, yeah, no matter how much I was the good guy, he's the good guy.
But were there sort of conversations backstage about how far we can take things? Or was it just off the cuff?
No. I mean, I've got my own personal rules, and I imagine he has something similar. His family is off limits. It's nothing to do with him. Why would you say anything about anybody's family beyond acknowledging perhaps, his wife because she wasn't wrestling, but I would never say anything negative about her. She's a lovely person, unlike him. But no, I mean, that's just something personal for me, and I imagine for himself, the way we're brought up, kind of old school, it was like, okay, well, it's nothing to do with your family, leave them out of it, but as far as the guys, just unload. And if anyone's sensible, some people have got upset with the things I've said, I don't give a Like, you're not that character. That's not really you. Grow the up.
Fair enough. I must ask you, if you don't mind, how you took that bump on, like, spine first on the corner of the steel steps. It was one of the most horrific spots I've ever watched in wrestling. Was there any sort of camera trickery, like camera angle, camera cutting trickery there, or was that just a risk you were willing to take on the night? Yeah.
I think I got lucky, convinced I could do it as safely as possible, and I did, but it's not a risk I'll ever take again. It's just a risk for that match, for that moment, and I knew in the moment, like, considering the amount of blood that was going on and how it felt in there and the story we were telling and the way things were coming off. This is the match I've been looking for my whole life as a kid. I used to always love those final blow-off matches, with the Triple H's, Mick Foley kind of matches, the final ones, just the bloodbaths, the war, and afterwards, like, my God, I'll always remember this, and I do remember moments like that, and I was aware I'm having one of those right now. And for me personally, I'll look back one day when it's all over and go, wow, that was pretty cool. And I know a lot of fans out there all feel the same way, especially younger fans who were like me when I was watching as a kid. So for that match, I was willing to do something, a bit stupid. But it came off, it went as good as it can, considering it was legitimately my lower back I landed on. And it was a one and done. It will never be done again, and that match will live forever.
It really will. It was so special, and not because of the violence, but because of the story going in. It just gave the whole thing heart. It was an incredible match. So congratulations.
It's like the cell meant something for once.
Well, thank you.
Instead of just being a prop.
Thank you. Exactly that. What do you make of John Cena's heel turn and his subsequent promos?
I mean, it's only somebody had told the world the night before. Literally the night before on SmackDown, that he's a terrible person and I can see right through him and all that jazz, and nobody listens to old Drew as usual. And sure enough, he kicked Cody right in the old twig and berries and proved me right. I might say that on TV tonight. That'd be pretty funny.
Twig and berries. Yeah. That'll get a good pop with the UK crowd.
Yeah, there we go. So we're warming up now for TV tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it was shocking. Got everyone's attention. It's Cena's last year. We have enough guys with enough steam. We don't rely on one or two people anymore. All across the board. We got so many superstars that mean so much, and just look at the numbers. before Cena came back. So we were able to take giant risks like that. And it's awesome that they were willing to do it, like all across the board, John himself, management, everybody. Like, okay, this is going to get everyone's attention, and it has. So good business as far as I'm concerned.
Lots of speculation of the third man.
Mabel?
I'd love that.
What was that again? Was that the NWO rumor? The
What,
third man?
Mabel joining
Yeah.
NWO?
I don't know why that's in my head. It's like, yeah. I blame Conrad Thompson. I feel like he keeps saying it.
That would be remarkable if that happened. But I like the
Really
idea.
remarkable. But
Yeah. I love the idea of a boss, a thug, and a psychopath. Any chance you're the... Because you and Rock, you're like that.
Yeah.
Why did he buy you a sword when you re-signed? Are you close with The Rock?
Yeah.
How did this happen?
He's always been there since I was a kid, and he's in and out of WWE. He always took the time, to give me advice. Has always looked out for me the entire time when he's around. I still remember being a kid, and his ex-wife, business partner, Danny, was on a flight I was on, and had such positive words to say when I was so young, which was really cool. And every single time he's been there, he has taken the time to give me advice, even when I was doing nothing. 3MB guy, he was still there giving advice. And there was the TMZ clip prior to the big push. It wasn't like I was doing the stuff I was doing before I won the Royal Rumble in 2019, 2020. And they asked who's the future star, and he'd mentioned myself, which was pretty cool because there was nothing on TV suggesting that. He just always believed in me, and thank goodness things have kind of come to pass eventually.
And do you think that's partly because he knew Vince saw a lot in you because you were the chosen one back in the day?
I mean, I think it's just more what he saw
himself,
and just always believed, this guy could be, a big star. And thankfully, finally, the pieces kind of came together.
WWE 2K25, it has a roster for the ages. If you could book a dream scenario for yourself that we can bring to life in the game, what would that be? Opponent, PLE, city, and match stipulation.
A dream scenario?
So what was your favourite PLE as a kid? Like if you booked yourself into a classic PLE.
I guess Rumble. Rumble and Mania both, but I think Rumble I get more excited for as a kid.
So should we go Rumble in Glasgow? Mm-hmm. Who would your opponent be, and what would the match stipulation be?
I was a big Bret Hart guy growing up, so I guess we'll do Bret Hart, even though we'll probably get crazy cheers because he was so wildly over in the UK. It's Scotland, though. I'm Scottish. They cheer Punk the other night. That kind of hurt.
Oh, yeah, that's tough.
It is tough.
That's tough.
I told you, Charles Manson-like qualities. Like, I'm not surprised, even in Scotland. It just has that weird thing that certain people in history have, dictators and the likes.
So if it's Bret Hart, presumably a straight wrestling match.
Yeah, I guess. He's probably not going to be happy if I start sticking him in cage matches or cell matches.
Right.
Yeah, plus I would want to test my wrestling. Like, there's so many things that I'd learned growing up. Like, I used to be a, wrestler. I used to do holds and counter holds and the likes, but usually the matches don't call for them these days, or nobody knows what I'm up to when I start grabbing them. So it'd be nice to try and break that out and see if I can still wrestle.
Yeah.
Beyond just kicking everyone's ass.
Finally, what does the rest of 2025 look like for Drew McIntyre? Like, we're still waiting for a big match with Roman, so you can finally settle the score.
Yeah, still waiting. That big pinfall over him.
Is that going to be on the horizon?
We'll see. I like to think so, since I talked about it for 4 straight months and it went nowhere. But that's been kind of the big rivalry since I returned to WWE, like 2018, 2019. Roman and I always seem to find each other, and I still haven't been able to get that pinfall. When I was with Shane, he managed to get the pinfall, which is pretty cool. Build up that young guy. But yeah, he's been my kryptonite. So that's a very long-term story. Myself and Roman, I'm sure we'll find our way back to each other inevitably.
Yeah. Well, Drew McIntyre, lovely to see you. Enjoy the rest of the tour.